Good morning, guys. It's time for Morning Oasis. It is the 12th of April, and so far this week we have been doing service to others. So today is going to be a little bit different. Today is going to be service to us. We have a lot of visitors here who want to reward us and thank us and bring us these well wishes and gifts. So I'm going to give it just a minute while people come in. We are going to have card pulls like normal, so go ahead and start making your requests for card pulls. Morning, Shauna. So this morning, I obviously am feeling much better. I'm just a little bit congested still up in the top of the head. I am going to be giving you guys a gift, and if you can see what's in my hand, you might have an idea. Good morning, Jessie. So I'm just going to start before too many people come in, because this isn't something that I ever do, but I'm totally being prompted to do it as a gift for all of you guys, for all of your hard work, your support. I'm going to play you a song. I hope you guys like it. I'm a little congested, so my voice is a little deeper than normal, but here goes. So nervous. So I'm not even going to look. I'm going to pretend like that iPad isn't even there. No, this is actually an Epiphone, a Blackbird Epiphone. Her name is actually Little Wing. It says right here on her placard. Okay, all right, I'm just going to go for it. Oh, by the way, this song, it's by Jewel. It's not by me. This song is called Hands, and it's one of her songs from back in the 90s. I don't know if you guys remember it, but I make it my own version, I guess. It could be pronounced Epiphany Jessie, yeah. Okay, here goes. If I could tell the world just one thing, it would be that we're all okay, and not to worry, 'cause worry is wasteful and useless in times like these. I won't be made useless. I won't be idle with despair. I will gather myself around my faith, for light does the darkness most fear. My hands are small, I know, but they're not yours. They are my own, but they're not yours. They are my own, and I am never broken. Poverty stole your golden shoes, but it didn't steal your laughter. And heartache came to visit me, but I knew it wasn't ever after. We'll fight, not out of spite, for someone must stand up for what's right, 'cause, well, there's a man who has no voice. There are others shall go singing. My hands are small, I know, but they're not yours. They are my own, but they're not yours. They are my own, and I am never broken. and I will pray. I will get down on my knees and I will pray. I will get down on my knees and I will pray. My hands are small, I know, but they're not yours. They're my own, but they're not yours. They are my own, and I am never broken. My hands are small, I know, but they're not yours. They are my own, but they're not yours. They are my own, and I am never broken. We are God's eyes, God's hands. We are God's mind, God's eyes, God's hands, God's heart. We are God's eyes, God's hands, God's eyes. We are God's hands. I just wanted to thank you guys. Okay, and put my guitar away. The lyrics are really powerful for me. I actually have to say it's probably maybe like the third or fourth song I learned, and it's something I love to play. I play it most mornings, especially when I'm feeling really down and having a hard time. Thanks, guys. Yeah, so that was my gift to you guys for this amazing work we've been doing the last couple days. And really, honestly, over this whole time that we've been doing Morning Oasis together, it's really beautiful. And I was really trying not to choke up at the end because I usually do, because I sing that end part. But so there you go, guys. That's my gift for you. Okay. So who wants a card pull? And then we'll get into what we're going to be talking about later on today. Thank you, guys. Yeah. There you go. That was, I never really play for other people. I only play for my husband and kid and they get sick of me. But you know, that's the way it goes when it's in your family. Okay, Siska, let's see. Ooh, the Galactic deck wants to talk to you, Siska. Okay, let's see. Let's get the cards out. And Shauna, you'd like a card pull? Okay. Today, you guys, is Service to Us Day. Today is a day for us. So, oh God, Jessie, I had to just pretend I wasn't performing publicly. And I'm not. This is the Oasis. This isn't public. This is my peeps, my home, my family. Okay, so we've got Siska, Shauna. Let me go ahead and look back and see if anybody else requested. Oh, Jessie. Today is a day that's for all of us. So, you guys, I want you to feel like you can request. Just looking back. Yeah, you know, it's interesting, Jesse, you said that you hadn't heard that song before. I hadn't actually heard that song of hers either. And I really liked another song that she did. And so I was kind of like just looking up, I'm like, wow, I totally forgot about Jewel. And the way that she performs that song is very different. And I personally did not like the way she performed it. But I printed up the lyrics, and when I that's kind of what happens when I like a song. I'll print up the lyrics, and then when I try to play it, it completely comes out as something different. It comes out as whatever it is that I'm supposed to play it as. So yeah, so I'm glad that you enjoyed that. To me, it helps me remember that even though I feel really small and just this insignificant part, and sometimes I feel overwhelmed with everything that we face in our lives, especially when we do this kind of work, we kind of tend to have a much harder go of things. It really helps me to come into that self and understand that self much better, and feel like there's a point to everything that I'm doing, and feel like that it's okay, that I don't have to feel so overwhelmed, that I'm not alone, that I'm here with Source, that Source is with me, that we are one. So yeah, it's really interesting. Okay, Andrea, let's see. Some of your comments, hon, are showing up, but I'm not seeing all of them. I went ahead and came to, Andrea, yes, I'll put you down. And if you guys don't hear me say your name so far, I've got Siska, Shauna, Jessie, and Andrea for card pulls today. If you haven't heard me say your name and you requested one, go ahead and say it again. I'll try and pay more attention. They only, on this thing, it gives me this much room, so I really only see 1 or 2 comments at a time, and then if anybody else has commented, it scrolls up, and I can easily miss it. So this one is for Siska. Let me look it up real quick before I hold it up, because I'm quick at looking this way. Okay, so you got 24, self-discipline, the Vegas, present. The profound nature of Vegan mysticism came from their intense self-discipline. As an example, you see this now in martial arts or meditation practices. Spiritual skills do not develop without this self-discipline. I'm going to just turn off a notice on there. Okay. And devoted practice. Karmically, many humans now resist discipline or crave it because of their ancient experiences. What is your pattern? Know that self-discipline is a vital part of spiritual growth, but too much of it creates rigidity. And I'm getting a sense of that. Oh, interesting. Okay. Creates rigidity. It is important to find the middle ground and use discipline as a tool to further growth without it becoming a hindrance. Probably the best pop culture reference to help people understand the nature of the ancient Vegas is that of the people that Mr. Spock comes from in Star Trek, the Vulcans. The Vulcan race was known for its intense self-discipline and emotional control. The Vegans had a similar commitment to not only self-discipline in order to work with emotion, but also to evolve spiritually, manifest what they need in their world, and organize their society. This trait can both be positive and negative. In the positive sense, it can lead you to heights of spiritual advancement and enlightenment. But in the negative sense, it can lead to self-sacrifice and even to the control of others, which played out in the descendants of the Vegans, the Orions. If you receive this card in your reading, you must look at your life situation and the other cards to truly see the perspective the cards are showing you. Do you need more self-discipline in life and spiritual development, or do you need less? Do you resist the concept of self-discipline, or do you use it to punish yourself? Examine all these factors and more will help you to see the messages this card can be applied to your life. Okay, so Siska, this one for me, what I'm feeling is you actually have quite a bit of self-discipline, and I think you're learning how to balance that and learning how to kind of allow for other things to come through that are not in relationship to your discipline. That's kind of the sense that I'm getting here. Yeah, that's what I'm pulling from that. Okay, so Shauna, I think this is going to be a day for the Galactic Heritage deck. We'll see. Yeah, they're all going to come from here. We've got a lot of messages that are going to come through. This is part of us being gifted for the work that we did yesterday and the day before. Okay, so Shauna, oh, this is interesting. And I think we've gotten this once before, and we all have been being connected. Many of you have been contacting me privately to let me know that since that, you've been being connected by connected to by the mantis beings. So, here we go. Hive mind, number 29, insectoid parallel. There are many extraterrestrial insectoids, there we go, species that have contacted Earth for thousands of years. They're peaceful and have a harmonious society that is based on the idea of group thinking as one. Most humans shun the idea of a loss of individuality, but it can also be a freeing experience whereby the ego no longer dominates one's reality. Since all consciousness is ultimately one anyway, insectoid beings reflect this truth. You've connected with these beings in the past, and their energy is now asking you to remember the oneness that lies underneath the illusion of separation. This is a very archetypal card that has less to do with specific ET species and more to do with our relationship to the universe. One of the greatest human fears is losing individuality. Yet, in order to evolve and survive as a species, we will need to embrace group consciousness and a constructive and a harmonious way. There are numerous species in creation, insectoid and others, whose societies are based on hive mind or a community-oriented structure. To some degree, even the Zeta Reticuli species has this consciousness, and the power of the whole has been what has ultimately saved their species from extinction. On Earth now, our individuality and attachment to our ego's opinions are destroying us. This card is asking us to look at how we relinquish this habitual need to cling to individuality in favor of embracing a more collective universal outlook. We can start at the community level and move outward toward the planetary one. The truth is that we are all connected no matter how far apart we feel. Denying this only prolongs the inevitable shift needed to move to the next level of our evolution. This card can be interpreted with this in mind, but it also could mean that you personally have a connection to an insectoid or hive mind species, and this connection can help you bring those needed changes in awareness into your life and the planet. And one of the things that's popping in my mind, Shauna, I know what you just did this morning. Yes, definitely. And I completely agree with you, Jessie. It is definitely about what we've been doing over these last 2 days has really connected us in as a collective consciousness. While we're doing that work together, we're working as a unity. For those of you who were here yesterday, my feed did not show me any of what you guys were saying as soon as we started doing the work. I had no feedback at all. And so I just had to go on instinct. And I was being told that Jessie was going to start leading. And so when I went back and watched the video later and saw the comments, I was like, oh my gosh, okay, good. They weren't all bombed out and in the zone and just totally in there. They were actually doing it. And it was beautiful that you guys were doing it in alignment with me. That just further confirms and shows that this consciousness is a shared vehicle for us to be able to be one together, to be in that unity state. And so I agree with you guys both completely. I think that hive mind is a statement about that. And yeah, Shauna, you have found community as you've come here, and it's growing and growing and building, and it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. I'm so grateful to have you in the state. Okay, in the state and in the state. Okay, so our next card is for Jessie. I get also, it's a galactic one. I'm still checking to see if another one wants to come through. Or another deck wants to be used, and I think another one will be for the fourth card. You guys will giggle too when you see what it is. Founders, number 1, beyond wisdom. That's a parallel. The founders represent the abiding awareness, the one consciousness that spans time and space. This consciousness is aware of its simultaneous existence as both the whole and its separate parts. It creates an illusion of fragmentation so that we could have individual lifetimes, but its wholeness still abides and is ultimately the consciousness that sees through the eyes of every living soul. This is your true self. Some call it God because this card points to your true nature. It is the most powerful card of this deck, and it cuts through illusion and moves beyond wisdom. It is you, remember. Because humans appear to exist in a linear, separate reality, we cannot have a card that truly embodies the energy of the complete wholeness and have the human mind be able to perceive this truth. If it were to be represented in this deck, it would have to be a card numbered 0. This card, the number 1, holds the energy of our initial fragmentation from the source. This first fragmentation, looking at it from a linear perspective, created many subgroups of wise beings, manifesting as group consciousness systems, who act as the archetypes of our journey through polarity and back into wholeness. They maintain the memory of being whole and separate at the same time and guide us through this journey. They are a manifestation of the great hologram of creation that contains all things and potentials. This is why the theme is beyond wisdom. What they offer us has little to do with intellectual knowledge or even what is called wisdom. They represent us in our integrated state and help us maintain the memory of our true state of existence as one being throughout all creation, manifesting as both separate and unified simultaneously. The consciousness of Germain, who channeled this card system to Lhasa, represents this group consciousness. If this card appears in your spread, it is a reminder of your true nature and a suggestion to never get distracted by the chaos or intensity of physical existence. Let yourself feel the connection with the source in a way that goes beyond intellect. As this connection grows stronger within you, it can serve as a guiding force in your life, and trust that connection. That just gave me shivers. Okay, so Andrea. Yeah, I'm feeling Andrea's going to have a different deck. And for Andrea's pull, it's going to be the energy deck, because there's something else that needs to come through for this collective reading that we're doing. I love how these card pulls have turned into collective readings. Have you guys noticed that? And then we'll move into the discussion and kind of review what we've been doing over the last few days, talk about what the results of that work has been. So this is my guiding. We just had a whole flock of crows fly over. And they don't fly in big flocks like that, except for when they're coming and going for the morning and evening. We had the fifth chakra and Archangel Gabriel come through, card number 39. Now, some say that according to Islam, the story of creation was that Source divided and created Gabriel first, and that Gabriel then became who he reflected himself, or Source, it, she, whatever, reflected itself off of. And then Source began creating the creation, this whole creation that we all live within, and said to Gabriel, what do you think about it? What do you think? So Gabriel was key in the creation and in understanding. And in many ways, we were all created as a means of showing Gabriel, right? So it's kind of a beautiful story. Gabriel's also considered to be the one who brought the waters into the creation, We were formed out of mud and intention, and Gabriel's waters brought us to life. This is another part of the Islamic creation story, which I love. The Egyptian creation story also says that there was a great mound of mud, and then it got wet, and then things started to come up out of it, and that's how we were created. Gabriel holds his trumpet in one hand and a beautiful orb of blue light in the other. He is sending powerful energy to your throat center, acknowledging your power to communicate and your readiness to do so. This angel opens up your truthful expression both within yourself and others. You may have had trouble with expressing emotions and ideas in the past, but Gabriel is here to tell you that your soul longs to take this leap now. Be aware that true communication includes how you speak to yourself as well, so never deny your profound, integral value. Speak up for yourself, write in your journal, let your words flow. Now is the time to express yourself freely and fully, and the universe always honors your choice to do so. This card also indicates that a communication project is coming, or a time of heightened communication with spirit and telepathy with others. So this is our collective reading, guys. We've got Archangel Gabriel guiding us. We are archetypes of that one creation. We are embodying that here in the creation, bringing in that collective consciousness, really finding the harmony of that collective consciousness while we understand and release the rigidity of our systems so that we can have more flow and fluidity in it all. This is our collective reading for today, you guys. What a beautiful one it is. Okay, so what I wanted to talk about today, I'll move right into that. Let me get these things out of the way because I just don't like my desk all cluttered. Cluttered desk. So I heard back from our first subject of work, right? Totally, you guys. And really it's just that confirmation that what we're building here, what we're working on, what we're creating as a collective in this morning Oasis space is just, it's part of that work, that greater work of service. And I'm just so honored to be a part of it all with you guys. Now I'm going to read, there's a couple of little messages from the woman who requested the first work, the service work, that kind of sprung us on this whole path of service to others for this week. And I requested for her if she was okay. I hadn't heard from her for a couple of days. And so she said, "Hi, Jessie, for some reason, I don't think you got my message. So I will rewrite it and send it to you." It was a long message about how things were before the energy work and what happened and where things are right now. The energy work did its miracle. When I get back, I want to tell you in detail how nightmarish things were here and how black. Now that the darkness and misery this person brought into the family and my sister's home is gone, the sun is out and the light is coming back. It's like watching all these scared little children coming out, beginning to tell their stories about how he cut the family off from each other and how crazy it all got. Oh man, thank you so much for your energy and the time and all the efforts of all who helped out. It was and still is amazing. So we could not get a better confirmation than that of what work we were doing, of the impact that it had. It was really powerful, you guys. Andrea also mentioned her mother had relief from her back pain. She said it was hurting much less. She was able to walk more straight. Remember, she was in extreme pain and unable to walk. She also confirmed that she was experiencing intense pain in her kidneys and that the doctors weren't able to find out why or what was going on. And that, of course, was the work we did yesterday. There's another message from my client who requested the work the day before, and I'm just going to, on a whim, go ahead and read it. She said, I wrote back and I said, I told her how proud I was of her, that even though I could feel while we were doing that work, even though she was in this really negative space with all the stuff going on in this chaos and storm, I could feel that she was staying centered and grounded, and she was doing her own personal work. And I was just like, so proud of you for doing that. Good job. I know how hard that was. So she said, that's exactly what happened. Although I'm good in crisis situations in my life, I don't have the words to describe energy or its darkness. I was so grateful to be able to understand what was happening there. And if I could give a visual, it was like a black vortex that was trying to suck us all into it because it had lost its primary victim, my nephew, the one who died. And yesterday, my sister had color in her cheeks, and she ate something, and she's up and moving about. The place she lives in is changing, and it seems much brighter. When I first arrived, what I saw was the immediate aftermath of the living situation of a hardcore heroin addict in his last moments. Whew. And heading at warp speed towards the bottom, grasping hold of anybody he could to drag with him. And my sister was one of them. Instead of letting him die on the streets at 32, she provided him a warm place for him to stay and food. Let me clear that message. In return, he turned her place into a den of addicts and dealers. It was so dangerous that the family couldn't get to her because the isolation was so great and her son's paranoia was so extremely intense, he wouldn't allow anyone through there, and they're only 15 minutes away from each other. It is a family reunion of sorts now. I know Lori is in a deep pain about the death of her son, yet there is a part of her that is coming to life after almost 3 years of captivity. You can imagine how grateful I was with the energy work. Again, thank you all. Such amazing confirmation, and truly that work blew up bigger than any of us expected, I think, especially myself. I really didn't expect it to be quite the intense scene that we ended up coming upon. So this is just, I wanted to really show you guys what it is that we are doing here. You know, when it's not about stroking our own ego. It's not about feeling amazing. It's not about thinking, oh, I'm so powerful and great. It's about submitting and being of service and standing on faith that whatever it is that we do, we are impacting the world. Because by doing that, by taking that one space that was this vortex of darkness, just pulling everything of light down into it, by releasing that, we impacted the whole family. And that whole family can now come together in collection, come together in union. And we by doing this kind of work, are doing what we can to save the world, right? In that sense. And that's what we can do. And so today, we're not doing any more work for others. We're going to do some receiving work. I don't know if you guys are feeling all of this intense energy that's coming through right now, but there are so many that are grateful that we have come together in this way, that so many of us have come together in this way, and that this is a commitment that we make and that we show up for and that we're doing. So today's meditation is going to be about receiving. Exactly. And they'll love 2 friends, and they'll love 2 more friends, and then they'll love 2 more. You know, happiness spreads. It spreads like we can't imagine. Exactly. Giving what she needed, we receive as well. Now, we do have to make sure, being people who are of service, and I know if you're here, that is an orientation that you share with me. We must remember that we too are some of the other selves that are in need of service, and that we ourselves have a human expression, this human life that's here as a piece of the Creator, learning and growing. And so we have to embody that as much as anything else. The color in commercial, no, I don't remember that. Jesse, I don't remember that one at all. So, yeah, and Andrea, if you have anything else you want to add about your mom, feel free to write that. I'm going to go ahead and take some coffee sips. We have, let's see, so today is Wednesday. Tomorrow is Thursday, and we can do one more service to others if it comes up. I'm going to leave that open if anybody knows of anyone or has an experience of anyone. Another thing we can also potentially do is work on a situation. There's a ton of situations going on around the world that we can see if it's for us. So if you are one who's interested in scoping out, okay, Karen, that's great. Go ahead and message me afterward. We'll make sure permissions are in place and that it's an allowance for the work that we do. That's one of the things that we always want to check when we're doing this work. So remember, the key here is physical permission when permission is allowed, when it's available. If it's not available, as in it's something etheric or communal or collective for an entire space, then we must seek permission of the higher selves, the energetic consciousnesses, and tuning into source consciousness, checking in for permission there. Because we can't rob people of the lessons that they've chosen. We can't take away the lessons that are important and critical, but we can participate because we are a collective. So some of that is part of the lesson, is being the collective, what to do, what not to do, how to help, how not to help. Oh, my throat. It's still recovering, you guys, still recovering. And I can't believe I sang for you guys. I'm sorry. I'm still like, I can't believe I did that. Okay, so I'm going to use my apophyllite to support us while we're doing this receiving work today. Today is, my crown just, it's on fire. Today is a day of receiving. So this is the apophyllite cluster, and one of the things I love about this cluster is it has this eye on the bottom. Oftentimes, yes, Chris, I played a song for everybody. You'll have to go back and listen in the beginning. I sleep with this eye on my third eye. Look at how lighted up that gets. So we're going to use this apophyllite today in support of connecting us into this energy and consciousness that we are building and growing here together. Shauna, you know me, I'm a big old chicken. I'm putting it right on top of a selenite sphere and next to a quartz cluster, just really bringing in that higher source energy and higher consciousness energy. Okay. So let's go ahead and take a few moments, getting comfortable. If you're going to lay down, go ahead and do so. If you have anything left to say, any energy to share. Before we drop into meditation, I need to stretch out. I'm going to stretch out my shoulders. Okay. Thank you, Michael. All right, go ahead and bring yourself into the self. We're going to start taking our breaths, breathing in. This present moment, so grateful I can breathe in through my nose. And exhaling. Breathing in this present state of awareness. And exhaling. Breathing in, breathing the smells, the taste, the temperature, feeling all of that as you breathe in. And exhale. Start unhooking yourself from the things that you've already done today, yesterday, tomorrow. Breathing in, drawing in these lines of connection that pull us apart from ourselves. Stretch us thin, and exhale, release your hooks of connection into all the responsibilities you have after you leave this time and space, knowing they'll still be there, just unhooking. Breathing in, drawing in those lines. Exhaling and unhooking yourself from the expectations that you have about yourself in this time, in this space. Breathing in. bring in your attention to the vessel fully and down into your root chakra and your feet, where your body's connecting to the planet, to the earth, to the ground. Breathing in, drawing up through those lines of connection. And exhaling, sending those roots deeper and wider. Breathing in, drawing up that energy. And exhaling, sending those deep roots deeper and wider. We're going to invite Gaia to come up and in through our roots, through our grounding, and come into our vessel and help us, support us, guide us, lead us, share our physicality with us. Breathing in, drawing that energy up through the legs and knees. Exhaling and releasing all that's been washed away, just as though we're standing on the beach and the tide is coming up, and it comes up with each wave a little bit higher up the legs and surges out, pulling out with it everything that we no longer need, the suffering, the pain, the memories, just being released and washed away as the next wave comes up the legs to the knees and thighs and washes away. Breathing in as the wave comes up to our hips and our pelvic floor and washes away. Breathing in as the water comes up to our abdomen and washes away. Breathing in as the wave comes up into our belly and solar plex and washes away. Releasing not only the karma of this life, but our karmic debris we carry with us from all of our previous expressions, our parallel expressions, as the wave comes in to the chest and heart and washes away the grief, the guilt, the pain. Breathing in as that wave comes up to the shoulders and arms and washes away. Breathing in as the wave comes up into the throat and neck and washes away. Breathing in as that wave comes up to our head and washes away. Breathing in as that wave comes up and goes over our head, cleansing every aspect of ourselves and washes away. Feeling that crown space, the pressure of that energy building there as the energy opens. Sending our consciousness with Gaia's consciousness up our line of connection all the way up to where we originally separated, fractioned off from Source, became the individuation that we came here to be, connecting into that infinite Source consciousness. Let's feel this wholeness as we are all here together. see each other as individuations as well as together as this collective here, back in unity. See how we are being joined by all those who worked with us yesterday and the day before, and truly all the other days where we've been doing this work. Feel that Christ consciousness that's so strong, that is an individuation of all of humanity, of our expression. Feel his love, its acceptance, its gratitude for the work that we come here to do, for the beings that we embody. Feel those archangels that are here, supporting and grateful, serving and being served by our work, by ourselves, shining their light upon us. Listen as that chorus of angels sings. If you're having a struggle hearing it, imagine you're tuning in. And we're just going to receive for a time. Go ahead and take a few really deep breaths in order to get yourself into that vibrational frequency so that this energy can come more comfortably down into your vessel as you embrace your own divinity. Breathe in that gratitude and that love, you guys. And open up that crown even wider. And we're going to start pouring this love, this gratitude, this openness, this oneness with all, down through our connection, down through our individuation, down through ourselves. Bringing it down. Sorry. know what to do. Yeah. Okay, today is a day for two things I don't normally do on camera. Weep and sing. Just let that energy flow through you guys. And my only cue is to open up that heart chakra and let that water flow. Let that love flow out. Start visualizing the people that you love, the people in your family, the people you friends, your connections, and see that whole sea of humanity that just struggles with feeling this energy. Send that energy out. Flow it out. This is so much, there's no way we could possibly hold it all. Just flow it out. Whenever you have doubt or fear that you are not loved and held by the Creator, remember this feeling. Know that you are one with that infinite creation, with the universe, with each other. And flow. I'm going to go ahead and leave you guys. Stay in this source space as long as you choose. When you're ready to come back, remember to feel your roots, feel your body, come back into the vessel, let your light shine. I love you guys, and I'm really grateful to be able to share this space with you all. See you tomorrow.